I've spent enough time in large organizations to know that if I went to propose this, this is a long fight to get the approval to run this test. It's a long time to get the results. And there's lots of people that have internal political fiefdom stuff to defend one approach versus the other. What could you accomplish if you didn't use root cause? So what I'm going to do is to show you a study that I did. It's just our basic churn demo that we use all the time to show people how root cause works. I threw it into Google Gemini. And imagine, if you will, that I'm at a company, I'm responsible for reducing churn, and I now have to pitch a policy prescription to my boss, and she has to pitch it to her boss, and they have to pitch it to the CEO and the CFO, and they have to get budget, and they have to commit to changing the way that we run things. I went in and I uploaded the customer data and the customer details, and I said, this is my churn data. How do I reduce it? And so ChatGPT came up with some little graphs that said, well, if they have tech support, that seem to have lower churn, and internet service, if it's different, it's lower, it depends. And customer tenure, if it's longer, they churn less. Better if they've got a 2-year contract. Okay, they said overall your churn rate is this month, this much, and then the recommendations ended up being things like change the contract type and work to increase customer tenure, but I wasn't sure what would motivate that. Switch them off of fiber optic to DSL in this case, it's an old data set, and try and get them with tech support, maybe offering them tech support. And so then I said, okay, can you be certain about these recommendations? What level of confidence do you have that offering free tech support, for example, will reduce churn? Do you know the cause and effect relationship between things like tech support and churn? And I came back, well, you're right. Strong correlations do not prove causation. And then it went on to explain that what I could do is to run some A/B tests.
Right. Back to square one.
Exactly. And this is how I can build confidence. I can identify risk groups, and I can run these controls and tests and run a 6-month test, it suggests. Okay, so that's terrible.
You can't present that. I mean, it gives you a good idea on what you can do. And the analysis is good that you can ask, how do I reduce churn? Yep. Or, I mean, it's not it might be a concrete way of reducing churn, but it's good that it can just give you those insights in the first place. But I mean, when you're looking at it not as a toy problem in a real environment, that's just not good enough.
I've spent enough time in large organizations to know that if I went to propose this, this is a long fight to get the approval to run this test. It's a long time to get the results. And there's lots of people that have internal political fiefdom stuff to defend one approach versus the other. Even if it's a data-driven organization and they really believe in testing, 6 months is too long to come to an answer when the CEO has asked, how do I reduce it today? So the difference for us is, let me pull it up. Folks haven't seen it before. This is the same churn data. I loaded it up. I created a digital twin. The digital twin showed me the relationship between churn and everything else that's driving churn. So you can see all of the payment methods and tech support and tenure for this type of problem. But the most important thing is the simulation that we can take out of this. Because we can go over here, we can look at the simulate tab, and I can say, okay, what if we gave away tech support? And I can see the digital twin, the root cause is automatically created, has shown that the churn rate will go down by 5.6%. It's a 23% improvement in churn. There's a 95% confidence level that this will happen. It also will tell me, don't give it away free to people who've already got 2-year contracts, because it's actually not going to help. This is something I can present to a CEO. This is something that I can get quick buy-in and say that we have to do this. This is mechanically why.
That's what you need. That's what any enterprise needs. The problem with enterprises is everyone's always afraid of losing their jobs, so they do nothing. That's the default state. Is innovation is unfortunately frowned upon and is punished if it goes wrong. Some organizations do it really, really well, and they encourage the employees to innovate And it's fine if mistakes are made and it doesn't always come out well. But in other organizations, no. And everyone's always afraid of losing their jobs. The other interesting thing that Gemini didn't give you that I would be interested if it can answer is, what are the high risk customers? If you pass it in a customer, can it tell you that that customer is a high risk customer? And can it segment strategies for specific customers?
I think that it could start to give me the same kind of things, but if I do, it's not going to give me the data. And here we can do that on a case by case basis, right? We can use the same engine here to look at each specific customer and know exactly what to do for them.
Yep. And we can look at next best actions as well. So this is what it looks like. We want to achieve churn to be no. We've passed in, if I modify the run, we can see pass in 5 records of different customers that are likely to churn, that we've identified they're a churn risk right here. And they all have different kind of, they're paying different charges. They've been with the company for different periods of time. You can see the tenures are wildly varying. If I go back to the next best action, this one, we've also set constraints on things that obviously we cannot change in order to make churn known. So things like we cannot change the customer's gender as a business. We can't change whether they're old or not. Can't change whether they have a partner or not. And then we get a set of actions that we can take where if we simulate the outcome of these actions on a specific customer, and it's likely to change them from a churn yes to a churn no. And you can see there's a lot of interesting suggestions here. So fiber optic to DSL, similar to what Gemini mentioned, but this time we've got some evidence for it.
Confidence number on it.
Yeah. And yeah, there's a bunch of these suggestions for each customer, and then you can just rank them and take the ones you want.
Well, and the thing I love about that confidence number is that it allows me to make an ROI decision. There's a 50% chance that this person is going to churn, and I can compare that to how much money I'm keeping them now. I can calculate that out over time, and I can see, okay, do I want to try this? Yeah, it's great. That was another Root Cause show. Nicholas, Eamon, thank you both very, very much. Join us next week. We will have more for you. And if you have a set of data that you want to look at, if you'd like to come on the show, if you want to study something with us, please let us know. We'd love to have you. Great. Well, thank you all very much.